What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily, your source for daily tech news. Make sure you subscribe so you know what's going on in the world of tech. How is everyone doing? Did you see my video that I released earlier today about my Galaxy Z Fold 3? If you haven't, you might want to watch it, especially if you're thinking about getting a folding phone, because until I did that video, I didn't realize I had that issue. So definitely check that one out. But without further ado, we have one tech news story and we have a couple of questions. Kind of a slow day, but still some stuff that's going to be interesting to hear about. And the questions are really good. There's a really good question in there that's thought-provoking because of a video I did yesterday. So I want to talk about that as well. Without further ado, let's jump into the tech news. First and only story of the day has to do with the next generation of this phone. This is the Galaxy Z Fold 3. The next generation will be the Galaxy Z Fold 4 or Galaxy Fold 4 if they call it that. And about the bezels. Now we've kind of spoken about the bezels, but I guess this is just further confirmation about it. But you know, the bezels, especially on this big screen, are pretty freaking small and getting smaller. And it could be a thing of beauty or a thing of marvel, I should say, more than anything. So check this out. This is coming from Anthony the Galax, who's not telling us exactly where he's getting this information. So it could be him just saying, hey, this is what I think. But ultimately, when we read this, saying both displays on the Z Fold 4 will have thinner bezels compared to the Z Fold 3. Overall, it's a very sleek device. Now, let's talk about this, because when we look at the bezels, especially on the front, I think there is some room for improvement around there. You could definitely make those bezels smaller, especially at the top and on the sides. Like, you can do some stuff there. Now, is it going to make it that much more amazing if they do thin out those bezels? Probably not, because they're already pretty thin as we look at it right now. And then on the bigger display, looking at those bezels, those also, I guess, could be trimmed down ever so slightly. But again, is it going to make that much of a dent, that much of a difference if they do that? And if you think they are going to do that, because there's rumors that the displays aren't going to be really bigger by any means, but you know, if they do make it, you know, a little bit skinnier, are they going to make it a little bit smaller too at the same time physically, the phone, but keep the display sizes basically the same? Or are they just going to keep everything the same on the width of all these phones, the inside and the outside, but make the bezel smaller and the display be basically the same size? So it remains to be seen, but I guess like any kind of change that we're gonna get is gonna be great, because Z Fold 4, I mean, there's things that are gonna come out and be about that phone, have it be the better cameras, better display, better durability, things like that that are gonna potentially make you wanna upgrade. Potential S Pen support built right into the phone. Battery's supposed to be basically the same. I don't know, but yeah, I'd rather see other improvements rather than smaller bezels, because I think they're needed, and maybe we'll get those as well. But Z Fold 4, remember, August, probably September timeline. I wouldn't even be surprised that much if it did fall into September, due to the fact that a lot of other phones are kind of being slightly delayed by weeks or months. But again, it remains to be seen. And we're just, what are we in now? We're in April. So you're looking at all of April, May, June, July, August. Basically 5 months from now, we should definitely have, or be very close to having, a new folding phone in hand. Your question of the day is, what scares you most about folding phones? Let me know in the comments down below. I think for me, it's really just the big screen cracking. It's like, oh my God, don't crack, don't let me drop you and break. I mean, obviously the outside display breaking would be a pain in the butt, but ultimately I live on that inside display. So for me, that's my biggest fear. Let me know about you guys, your biggest fear about having a folding phone. With that said, let's get to the Q&A portion of the video and drop that beat. First question comes from Paul Lassard saying, I have a 2021 Chevy Equinox. It's up and down. How to install? Need help. So what he's talking about is, I put out a video for the Samsung has this car charger, wireless charger that you can put your phone in. It mechanically opens up and you can put your phone in. It holds your phone and it wirelessly charges it at the same time. It's literally compatible with the Galaxy Z Fold lines all the way down to their regular candy bar phones. And he's asking me how to install it into the vent. And I had a little bit of trouble. I had to watch someone else's video to figure it out, because Samsung really wasn't much of any help. And from what I remember, you know whose video I watched to see how to install it? He was like, oh, my name is R-I-C-K-Y, YouTube Tech Guy. Ricky, YouTube tech guy. Just type YouTube tech guy and you'll find him. Ricky, his name is. He has a same video on that. That's where actually I watched his, like, oh, that's how you do it. But it's pretty easy to install. Mine, again, are obviously horizontal. Yours are going to be, you said yours are vertical. So yours still should work. You probably just have to turn the thing. And basically, I think it just snaps on like that. And our last question is very thought-provoking, and it's coming from Tim Grosson. And just to give you context before I even read his question, I did a video yesterday talking about how to take raw photos with your Galaxy phone and the setting to turn on. Basically, the setting you turn on is you go into the camera app and you go into settings of the camera, and then you go into picture formats, and then you choose raw. And then when you go into pro mode on your camera, of the Galaxy phone, you can, any photo you take will take a JPEG and then also a raw photo. But what he's asking is, if you can take raw photos in pro mode, what's the Expert Raw app for? And I wasn't really sure what he was talking about. I didn't even know about the app, but there's an app you can go into the Galaxy store and download. I couldn't on my Z Fold 3, it doesn't show up, I'm assuming because it's not compatible with that phone, but I could on my S22 Ultra. So Expert Raw, I went into that. It is a little bit of a difference. And I want to tell you this before we dive in too much. If you're going to, you can use the method I gave you, which should be at the end of the day basically be about the same. The quality wise, it should probably be, again, exactly the same. The big difference is you don't have to, with the Expert Raw app, you literally download the app. You have a separate app just for raw photos, and it allows you to use that app so that you can just take raw photos. And then the camera app, you can go JPEG or raw photos, but this is definitely easier because you don't have to go through that, and then you don't have to go into pro mode. This is just an app. I would say download this app. There's a couple of things different. One of the things different is, I can't think what they call these things, but it basically tells you the lighting, how the lighting is going to be. You can turn this little thing off right here. I don't know if you can see that. I think it's called histogram. I think that's what it's called. But basically it'll show you how noisy the photo is going to be or whatever, so you can get more light on it or whatever if you want to. And then the other thing was going into settings, at least the things that I noticed. This has a high efficiency RAW, so it'd still take a RAW photo, but basically it says it saves space by capturing raw pictures in high efficiency format. So it had that feature versus what the regular camera app did not have. Those are the couple things that I noticed. So I would say, and thank you for showing me this, download the Expert Raw photo if you want to take raw photos. You can still use the method I used, no problem with that at all, but also check out this app as well. Thank you so much, guys. If you have a question, leave it in the comments down below. If you have any questions, like I said, just put it in there, the first word being question, and we'll see you down the road.